guys, this is Maima and welcome back to my channel. Today we are basically going to break down my step-by-step process of coming to a very flawless base. This is what my base eventually turns out to look like even for the rest of the day. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. I wash my face with the Cetaphil cleanser and that's a very gentle cleanser. Matlab, that feels so soft and feels like all the pollution is out of my face and I feel so fresh right now, but the moisture is gone. I feel a little dry. Going in with Snail Mucin, my number one go-to product. I'm gonna take 1.5 pump and that's it. There are different ways of using skincare, so this is how the Snail Mucin works for me. It might not work like this for you. You might want to use a damp skin or something like this. मेरे को ये comfortable है. Next I'm going to go in with the moisturizer. This is also my favorite moisturizer by Requel. I'm gonna skip on the SPF because makeup is now hybrid. Makeup is more SPF oriented and I'm not going out, so I just don't feel like doing it today. So your skin has to feel fresh and plump like right before you start digging in with your base, because if your skin doesn't feel fresh on its own, it's not gonna work. Skincare is very essential when we talk of makeup because the layer is not primed and not separated. Makeup will start acting up on your face. It will oxidize eventually and you might have some dry patches in between. You might have cakey face. You might lose out on product here and there. You might have laughing lines. There's a lot of things. Skincare is a very guaranteed process to having a good base. Usko koi dusra alternate nahi dikhta hai. For my lips, I'm gonna use the sleeping mask from Laneige as well. We're just gonna leave my lips like for a little bit with this, and later we'll have like right plumping moisturizing lips till the time we get to the lipstick. So before going in with the concealer, let's go in with the primer, and this is from Inside Cosmetics. This is silicone base and is absolutely ideal for people who have an oily skin type, because if you put cream, it somehow पता क्या होता है वहाँ पे moisturize जब आप करते हो तो it might just end up inside your pores and everything. Silicone basically ये जो यहाँ पे pores हैं, ये जो hollowness है यहाँ पे अंदर, it sits inside it, so it will not allow the makeup to penetrate between, but it will protect my acne and my makeup separately so that both of them do not react on each other. The most amount of priming you need wherever, if you have scars, if you have hyperpigmentation, very absolutely around the nose, because the nose area has a lot of visible pores, not just for me but for pretty much everybody. A flawless base. I like to take my time with the primer so that, you know, everywhere I touch I can feel that silicone layer. I like to go around my chin as well because I have a lot of pigmentation around my mouth area. I have a monkey mouth. This is actually my problematic area. You can switch primers according to seasons, and that is what I do. I go for a moisturizing one in the winters because it starts inclining towards the dry skin type. Now that the primer is done, we can finally move ahead. The first thing I love to do in my makeup routine is use a blush. This one is from Rare Beauty and this is something that my sister gifted to me on my 25th birthday. It's a burnt orange pigment and it just melts into my skin. I'm gonna go across because I don't like patches. I might just go in with like that much of blush because it's going to come outside of my concealer also. I know the pigment is so strong on this one that these 2 drops, that's it. You don't even need a powder blush upon this. The idea of using a blush is supposed to give you a very rosy, natural look, and that is what this one is doing. Even like if I do not continue with the rest of my makeup, whatever's left on the brush, I'm just gonna brush it across my nose so that ये सारा synchronized लगे. I think that's it for the blush and like left over on my chin. Now we're going to go in with a concealer, and this is my favorite from Too Faced. This is like the closest thing to my skin. This is a warm beige and I love it. I don't think I would want to go without this anymore. Taking my concealer brush from PAC, I'm just gonna blend this out. I like to first tap it out and then I start spreading it when I know I've got that kind of coverage in that area. If you want a heavy foundation, heavy concealer, you just tap it across like this. If you just want a very light coverage and smooth looking even skin, then you might as well just swirl it around the rest of the face. I'm gonna do the second eye. Now I'm packing it in right here because this is where the eye bags fall. सबसे अजीब भी वही लगता है. Now we can continue the concealer on the rest of my face. We can go over the acne marks, even if like there's blush around it, like we've applied blush there. But उसके बाद भी हम ये ऊपर से concealer लगा सकते हैं. I like to use like as much as like in the doe applicator, and जितना भी है, why waste product? Why? In case if you think your concealer is drying out before you blend it, you can go in with a fixing spray or just like rose water in a bottle, cucumber water, or even your toner. Like that is pretty much the same thing. Even if like the concealer has taken over the blush, but you can still see that burnt orange undertone, and that is it. And ऐसे लग रहा है कि it's very natural, like I blended out my concealer to the blush area and still you can see it. There's a new thing that I switched up in my makeup routine, and that's adding a little bit of this super light shade from Tarte Shape Tape. And 1, 2, मेरे को इतना ही highlight चाहिए. And to go with a softer hand, I switch up my brush for this one from Prosh Beauty. Is P21. I'm just gonna lightly mix this all over here. We're gonna use a very soft hand because we already have a very thick layer of concealer under it, and this is just to brighten it up. Now it's time to set the face. I'm gonna use my banana powder from Fit Me Maybelline. This is probably in the shade 20, and this is like my first loose powder ever. I've been using it for super long. I know I shouldn't. This powder suits me so well. Using makeup for so long, I've understood that powder products do not expire when it's written on the outside of the box, maybe 12 months or 18 months, but you can use it for much more than that. That's the best thing about powders and investing in powders. I have taken my lightly packed powder brush from Ulta Beauty, and I'm just gonna dip into the banana powder, tap off the excess, and now I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. My under eyes are set. I'm gonna go with more swirl and go on top of the eye now, and then I'm gonna do another swirl and I'm gonna take it on top of this eye. I'm just gonna softly like brush it there so that the powder deposits to whatever places that it wants to. Now I have to set the rest of the face, so I took a little bit and I'm gonna swirl it around just like I did the same with my eye, and we're just gonna pack it. For the oily skin type I have, I like to pack all of my face with the powder because it helps my makeup stay intact. Because I have very pigmented skin on top of a very brown color, I prefer to go for a banana powder instead. It gives me the extra coverage that I'm looking for. For my powder blush, I'm going to use this palette from Revolution Pro, and this has amazing colors. Like this has such pretty colors for a blush and a blush topper. Taking my blush brush from Nykaa, I'm just gonna dip into this one, which is like a very medium color, or maybe like just this one because we have a little burnt orange underneath. I am removing the excess and I'm just gonna give a very slight swirl here. I do not believe in shapes and like how you have to blush. I think you just need to use your brush and let it flow. The powder is only going to situate into places that it is supposed to, and that is exactly what it's doing right now. I do not have to hold my hand like this or think about where to apply. I'm going to take it to my temple, and the same here, I'm going to take it to my temple and the rest above my nose, and whatever left now is on my chin. contour. Now I'm gonna take my angled brush from Nykaa as well, and I'm gonna dip into this color that seems a very medium color and would suit my skin tone. Contour is basically just meant to add like shadow to your skin. That's it. This is where I would like my cheekbone shadow to fall. That makes a huge difference. If you look closely, that just gives a very sculpted look, while this side of my face is more rounded right now. I'm gonna take a little bit more contour and we're just gonna dip it in here so that it takes the shape. You see that does make like a huge difference. And I think blush is the first powder product that you should use after a loose powder, because number one, you've already put a cream blush, and blushes like have high pigmentation and usually run out very quick on your face. But when, like how I mixed my brown here, how I mixed my contour here, it just blended in very well for me. I really like this blend where I can feel like my face is very sculpted right now. I'm gonna take more contour and we're gonna do this part of the face, my forehead, because that just looks very detached from reality. हम यहाँ पे contour कर देंगे. Now I feel my face looks so much better, so much structured. I do not think that for a contour you need a very warm shade of brown. These shades, which are very cool toned in nature, I am not a big fan of this one because it's more of a highlight pigment. But these three go well. This goes well with my tan skin, and this is much more when I want to go for a usual day out. And this can give some extra coverage to my under eyes. Now to set my face, I'm going to use Fix Plus from MAC, and we're just going to give a very light layer so that the makeup absorbs itself, like, you know, वो अंदर melt हो जाए मेरे skin में. The difference a setting spray or a mist or just about anything water content, the difference that it makes on your skin is just set my face. Like for the final time, I might as well just go with another setting spray, and this one from ELF does a great job. This is for mattifying skin, and I usually use this in the summer season because I want to control the oil and I want my face to look matte and not dewy, because it's always looking dewy after a certain point of time. I really like matte setting sprays for summers. The makeup seems to be coming to life now that it's melted into my skin, and this is what it looks like without anything else. This is purely my base and some powder products, and this is what it looks like on the close-up. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.